you actually get it? Like, having cash in one country and needing it in another.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. It's valuable, but you need that specific local currency, or in this case, the right token on the right platform.
Exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into that very practical process, bridging USDT from MetaMask over to DAO1, maybe for your very first time.
And our goal here really is to break down this whole multi-step thing. We're not just listing clicks. We want you to get the why behind each action.
Right.
What's actually happening under the hood? Why is it set up this way? It's about making these tech flows, well, less intimidating and more manageable for you.
Definitely. We're working from a pretty detailed step-by-step guide, and we're going to unpack it together. So yeah, let's figure out how these digital bridges actually work. And almost right away, you'll likely see a prompt asking you to connect your MetaMask wallet.
And that initial prompt, that connection is really important. It's like showing your ID at the gate.
Okay.
You're letting DAO1 know who you are, cryptographically speaking, and allowing it to see your wallet address, but not, control anything yet.
Right. It's not accessing funds at this point.
Exactly. It's just establishing that secure link. It's kind of amazing how these tools, your browser, the website, your wallet extension, all have to coordinate just for that first handshake. It really sets the stage for secure interaction.
Got it. So you're in, you're connected. What's next? The guide says navigate to apps and then click on Explorer. Now this Explorer, what exactly is that for?
Ah, the Explorer.
Yeah.
Think of it as like the platform's public library or ledger. It
Yeah.
shows you all the assets, the tokens that DAO1 recognizes and manages within its own ecosystem.
Okay, so it's like a directory.
Sort of, yeah, but more transparent. It's showing you the actual on-chain information for that platform. So when you click on tokens, you're filtering that view down to just the currencies or digital assets.
Makes sense.
And this is important because it lets you verify things independently. You can see what tokens DAO1 actually supports, and in a moment, confirm your own token is visible there. It's all about that transparency.
Okay, so within that Explorer, after clicking tokens, the next step is crucial. Clicking the MetaMask icon and then add token.
Yes, that's the bit that tells your specific MetaMask wallet, hey, be aware of this particular token within the DAO1 environment. Right. And after you do that, boom. The guide says your wUSDT should now be displayed. Okay, hold on. wUSDT, not just USDT. What's the W about?
That W is super important. It stands for wrapped. So wUSDT means wrapped USDT.
Wrapped, like a gift.
Well, sort of. Think about it like this. USDT mostly lives on big networks like Ethereum, that's ERC20, or maybe Binance Smart Chain, BSC. But DAO1 might operate on its own blockchain or a different compatible one. For your USDT to work smoothly inside DA1, it needs to be represented in a format DA1 understands. So it gets wrapped.
So it's like an IOU.
Exactly. It's basically a token on DA1 that represents your original USDT, which is usually locked up somewhere else as proof. One wUSDT on DAO1 equals one USDT locked on, say, Ethereum. It's a really clever way to make assets compatible across different chains. Interoperability, that's the key word.
Okay, that makes sense. So you found your wUSDT. It's visible in DAO1 thanks to the Explorer and adding it to MetaMask. Now for the main event, the bridging.
Right, the actual move.
Yeah.
You go back to apps again, but this time select bridge. This is where the transfer happens. And critically, the guide says, check that your MetaMask wallet is connected. Why emphasize that connection again here?
Because the bridge is the engine doing the heavy lifting. It's the mechanism that talks to both the starting network, where your original USDT might be represented, and the destination network, DAO1. Without that active, secure connection to your wallet, the bridge simply can't access the wUSDT you intend to move.
Gotcha. It needs permission and access.
Precisely. Bridging isn't just sending. It often involves complex smart contract interactions, potentially locking on one side, minting on the other. That connection is the secure channel for all of that.
Okay, so on the bridge page itself, now we get into the nitty-gritty configuration.
Mm.
First, the guide reminds you, make sure you actually have the USDT, either ERC20 or BSC, in your MetaMask to begin with.
Crucial starting point. You can't bridge what you don't have linked.
Then you select the from network, like Ethereum or BSC. Then the from currency, which would be USDT in this case.
Yeah.
You enter the amount you want to bridge over.
Yep. Specify exactly how much.
Then you pick the to network, which will be DAO1's network, and the to currency, which will likely show up as wUSDT.
Correct. mapping the journey.
And finally, you hit swap. Now, that choice earlier, ERC20 versus BSC for the source, that actually matters quite a bit, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That choice directly impacts your experience. ERC20, the Ethereum network, is usually seen as very secure, very decentralized, but, well,
The fees, gas fees.
exactly. Gas fees can be high, sometimes really high, and transactions might be a bit slower if the network's busy. BSC, on the other hand, generally offers much lower fees and faster confirmation times.
But maybe different trade-offs in terms of decentralization or security models.
Potentially, yes. Different consensus mechanisms. So when you choose that from network, you're deciding on that balance of cost, speed, and the underlying network's characteristics for this specific transaction. Precision is key.
Okay, so you've said everything. You've clicked swap. What happens next? The guide says click on approve, and you'll see a fee percent mentioned there too. What is this approve step actually doing? It sounds separate from the swap itself.
It is separate, and it's a really important security feature in the world of DeFi and smart contracts. Clicking approve doesn't actually move your money yet.
Okay.
Instead, you're giving the DAO1 bridge smart contract permission to withdraw up to the amount of wUSDT you specified directly from your wallet just for this one transaction.
So it's like pre-authorizing a specific charge.
Exactly like that. You're not handing over your keys, you're just okaying this specific withdrawal. It prevents a contract from unexpectedly draining funds. And that fee percent, that's your network transaction fee, the gas fee, for processing this approval action on the blockchain. It pays the network validators.
Got it. So safety first. After you approve, then you click confirm.
Right. That confirms your intention to proceed with the swap bridge itself now that permission has been granted.
And then there's another step. Click on migrate. Migrate. That sounds significant, different from swap or approve. What's happening when you click migrate?
Yeah, migrate often signifies the final execution step in a bridging process like this. Swap might initiate the process, approve gives permission, but migrate is often the verb used when the actual movement and transformation happens.
So this is when the wUSDT really moves on to DAO1.
Essentially, yes. It could trigger the locking of the original asset or
Yeah.
burning the token on the source chain and the minting or final validation of the wUSDT onto the DAO1 network. It's the point of no return, the actual transition solidifying the asset's presence on the new platform.
Okay, final step in the movement. And then one last click on confirm, double checking everything.
It seems like it. That final confirmation is likely you giving the absolute final go-ahead, acknowledging any last details or fees associated with the migration itself. It ensures you're fully aware before the blockchain finalizes everything.
And after all that clicking, the guide just says, here's your wUSDT. Success.
There you go. It's arrived, ready to use within the DAO1 ecosystem.
Wow. Okay, so recapping that journey, we went from just logging into DAO1, connecting Metamask,
That initial handshake.
to using the Explorer to find and understand the wrapped token, the wUSDT.
Understanding that W is key.
Then carefully configuring the bridge, choosing networks, amounts,
Paying attention to those ERC20 versus BSC choices and the fees.
going through the approve, confirm, migrate, confirm sequence,
Those crucial security and execution steps.
to finally having the wUSDT land where you need it. We really broke down that guide into understandable actions.
Absolutely. And look at the core ideas we touched on. Network selection matters for cost and speed. Wrapped tokens like wUSDT are essential for making different blockchains talk to each other. And those approval steps, they aren't just annoying clicks, they're vital for keeping your funds safe when interacting with smart contracts. It shows how careful these systems need to be.
Definitely meticulous. But also, once you understand it, it feels empowering, right? You have this fine-grained control to move assets between totally different digital spaces.
That's the promise of it, yeah.
So thinking about this, what does this capability, this ability to bridge assets, really unlock for you, the user? This process, yeah, it's detailed now, but it gives you precise control. What other doors does bridging open up for managing your digital assets across this increasingly interconnected crypto landscape? And maybe,
Yeah.
how could this get even simpler in the future?